Here are the things others fear. This is Horror Forged. Today we've unearthed someone special, currently living in Wales. By way of hell itself, we have Michael Oates, composer, sound designer, summoner of evil. So Mike, how do you design soundscapes that feel alive and predatory?
I like things that are, not perfectly in tune. Never sort of staying constant in the timbre or intensity. Maybe having something that starts in the distance but gradually comes to the front of the mix in a sort of wet to dry signal kind of way, and that sort of gives it an ambushy feel, something like that.
What's the most unconventional instrument you've used in a horror score?
The most unusual thing I've sampled recently was my cat's flea comb rocking back and forth on my desk. It has like a funny shape to it, and it wobbles in a weird off-kilter rhythm that I liked. So yeah, that was fun.
How do you manipulate silence to create terror?
Silence or something that's close to silence or just off silence, like negative space, is kind of really where the scariest sound is. So I'm always trying to remember that when I'm layering stuff up and, build up noise and then cut silence. It's not my trick, but it works.
Describe a sound you've created that haunts you to this day.
A sound that haunts me to this day is when I accidentally stood on my cat's tail by mistake, and the noise he made ruined my week. So, yeah.
What's your philosophy on blending organic and synthetic sounds?
My philosophy to blending organic and synthetic sounds is just yes, a lot, regularly.
How do you approach scoring a monster that has never been seen before?
I've never actually scored a monster, so I guess I just have to get to know it first.
What's the scariest sound you've ever heard in real life?
So, my cat aside, a friend of mine once, shared a video of a sportsman breaking his leg mid-tackle, and the scream and the sound of the bone snapping was audible, and it was horrendous. Probably, terrible.
How do you balance realism and exaggeration in sound design?
I'm not that worried about realism when it comes to horror. I want things to sound organic and alive, but not necessarily real.
Describe a time you pushed the boundaries of what a horror sound can be.
I don't know that I'm pushing any boundaries that haven't already been pushed, but I do sort of focus on details and just try and come up with little moments that at the very least surprise me, and then hopefully they would surprise the listener. I think focusing on stuff like that without trying to sort of desperately reinvent the wheel, and hopefully your personality and your influences come through, and that's enough to mark it out as different.
What's your favorite horror film score of all time, and why?
My favorite soundtrack, I've got loads, but I do love the Hereditary soundtrack, because I love Colin Stetson's stuff anyway. I saw him live a couple of years ago doing his solo sax thing, and it was just like an hour of beautiful kind of pulsating noise and texture, and really, almost like an out-of-body psychedelic experience without the drugs. It was just amazing.
Is there any place for melody?
Unless melody is being used as a kind of juxtaposition against visual images, I sort of find hummable melody just kills horror for me.
What are your weapons of choice?
I have so many plugins that I can't really name a specific one, but I always kind of start my cues with a bass synth, which I'll sculpt and post-process for quite a long time until I'm happy with that, and then kind of hang the rest of the cue off it.
Thank you, Mr. Oates. The Codex has spoken.